Hello guys, welcome back to Empress Tarot Easter. I'm Laura. If you haven't met me already, I am a psychic and a tarot reader, and I specialise in twin flames and divine counterparts. And I've got a new course coming up in March looking at how I can get you back into union with your twin flame a little bit faster. So if you're interested in that, have a little look at the link below. Anyhow, let's get into the reading. I was lying on the sofa. I was getting in some sun codes, some light codes. Suddenly Spirit said to me, you need to do a reading for the three divine masculines, types of the three energies, okay? There's three energies. There's all 33 on the clock when I said that. I think I have three collectives that I'm working with. We talked about this before. And there's three energies from the divine masculines. So Spirit wants you to take a moment and they want you to have a look at these piles. This is pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. I want you to take a deep breath. And out. Take another one. And out. Really get nice and calm. Focus on the piles. You might want to close your eyes. Once you open them, you may feel drawn to one. You may already be drawn to a pile. You may have heard a number in your head. You may just get a vibe. Whatever it is, trust that first intuition that you have because it's normally right, okay? So we're going to start off with pile 1. Now we've got 4 types of cards here. We've got tarot cards and we have 3 oracle cards, okay? The oracle cards is the Love Oracle deck. We also have the Island Time Wellness deck and we have the Hidden Oracle deck. And I've got the Ink and Intuition Tarot here. The tarot card is going to represent how your divine masculine sees you. The Island Tarot, okay, the Island Oracle, this is how he sees the relationship. We've got the Love Oracle here, which is how he feels, and the Hidden Oracle, we're going to see what he wants to say, okay? So if you're ready, let's move on. Pile number 1, let's have a little look what you've got. Ooh. Okay, so he sees you as the 2 of Wands, and this means that he's seeing you as the greener pastures, something that is to look forward to and is a better option than what he's actually with at the moment, which is an interesting way to see you. And I just saw 231 on the clock then, so that may be relevant as well. And then 234 as well, which is nice. Ascending numbers are very good. So there is some feeling of wanting to progress with this relationship with this divine masculine, and he does see you as a better option than where he's at. I don't really like that word, better option, but that is kind of what I'm picking up on. I feel like wherever he is at the moment in his life, he's not feeling particularly happy about it. Now, 2 represent partnership. They can also talk about division and harmony, conflict, company, and mirroring each other. So typically within twin flame relationships, you will notice that there is some mirroring happening in the relationships. Now, we've got the wands here. So this is the fire suit. This talks about spontaneity, fast action, passion. It's also representative of the signs Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries. But don't forget that these are just more nods towards whether or not this is for you. It doesn't have to fully resonate on the astrology signs, okay? So at the moment, he certainly sees you as a better choice. He's looking forward to a new way of life. There is a feeling that he is bored where he's at the moment and he's currently dissatisfied with his current situation. So I do feel as though he sees you as something that he could move forward to be a pastures new and something a little bit more hopeful, a little better than what he's at the moment. Now, how does he see the relationship? Well, the black card here, we can see here self-indulgence. So this is how he sees the relationship. And I feel as though, as if he sees the relationship as being something positive to the point that there will be opportunities for him to focus on his healing and focus on his self and focus on his self-worth. Now, within a relationship, I don't feel like this is actually that good an energy, in all honesty, because although there's a lady on the card here and she's reading, I feel as if he sees you as somebody that can read him like a book, literally, which means that when he's with you, you can help him to do things like focus on his self, focus on his healing, do his shadow work, his self-appreciation and his self-worth. But I'm getting very much that he feels like there's lots that you can give him, but we haven't heard much at the moment about what he's willing to give to you or what he wants to give to you. So far, the cards are very about him. It's a feeling as if like you make his life better, you make him feel happier. But there is a feeling here, a little bit of possibly a mixed matched vibration, ladies, in the state of course you can give a lot to him, because I feel like you have done a lot of work, a lot of healing work, a lot of focusing on yourself. You've done a lot of self work. But he sees possibly you as somebody that can come in and help him with that. But is he on the same level as you? And is this one of those things, are you having to set yourself on fire to keep somebody else warm? So I do feel like with this relationship, this person does see you as something wonderful and does see a lot of potential with you. But there's also a bit of selfishness that comes with this. I feel as though he feels that you will be able to give a lot to him, but we haven't heard a lot about what he's going to give to you. So no wonder he's seeing you as, green pastures new and something that's hopeful. So the next card we've got is what he feels. Okay, so our lovely love oracles here is what he feels. Let's have a little focus on that. And how funny, because I was lying on the sofa having the sun coming through the shade. So you may have been sunbathing today. You may be somebody I'm hearing cat like, that kind of like feline-esque way of being, lying in the sun, long and languid, quite sexy actually. So there's a feeling of very sort of sees you quite sexual, sees you as quite a spiritual being, sees you in a very cat-like manner. So that's a nice one. And it's 1232. The time now is 12:32. I just got a notification, which is funny. So again, ascending numbers. He feels as if there's something to move forward with you here, pile number 1. But what does he feel for you in his heart? Well, a message for you from him, from his heart, is I'm thinking of you at this very moment. Your love fills me with light and I love you. And again, there is this feeling that you are like a light worker, that you bring lightness to his life, you bring happiness to his life, you bring joy to his life. And why wouldn't you? Because you're this beautiful creature. But again, what is he offering you? Be very wary sometimes with, divine feminines when we're moving towards our divine masculines, that of course they see lots of beauty and wonderfulness with you, but sometimes they haven't done the work yet for union time. So don't go in there trying to be the light of somebody's life and changing everything for them when actually they haven't done the personal work themselves, okay? There's a limit of how much you can do. So our final card here is what he wants to say to you. And he's saying here, I know I was a distraction from your pain. And I'm picking up from him that he feels a little bit like you think that he is a project, okay? He feels sometimes like, although he sees you as somebody that can really, really help him and heal him and look after him and do these things, I am getting that you are somebody that might be a healer of some form, a therapist, physiotherapist, like a psychologist, psychotherapist, massage therapist, Reiki healer. It doesn't matter. You could be, a doctor or a dentist or something like that, but something to do with working with other people and healing other people. And I feel a little bit sometimes that he feels like he is more work for you, if that makes sense. He totally sees the potential that you have for helping him to heal. But the problem is that he also feels sometimes like you're just using him as a distraction from your other stuff, like what's going on in your life. And he also feels a little bit vulnerable sometimes, that maybe he is a project for you, something that you look at as work. They're asking me to pull another card here for the relationship. So this is how he sees the relationship. Can we get one more card, please, for how? Pile number 1, Divine Masculine. Thank you. Oh, gosh, okay. We've got 2 cards. Okay. So we've got the Phoenix here. And this is the new phase, rekindle, renew, transformation, growth, and change mind. So he does see the relationship again as something that can bring a lot of newness to his life, a lot of change, a lot of healing, a lot of happiness, a lot of joy. He is hoping for a new phase with this. I don't know, I just feel like you also need to focus on your mental health as well. The next card that we've got here is Girl Talk. I just saw the word king there. I don't know whether there's a king, whether that's a name, a surname or something. I think it says hello Kim. I'm not sure, but I saw the word king there. The fluffy slippers with hearts on there are really standing out to me as well. And I just heard lip fillers too. So this one here, so time with friends, moving on, happy single, living in the moment and having fun. So at the moment, I think he sees you as being somebody that's really kind of moved on. You're doing your own thing. And this is a really important way to be if you're in a twin flame relationship, particularly divine feminines, because the more that you pour into yourself, the more that this will actually bring the relationship back into your life. Because the whole twin flame journey is all about balancing the polarity, balancing the energy between the two of you, balancing the situation. And often what happens is that the masculine runs and retracts. And I think we had the runner card on the bottom of the pack. Oh no, it was there. I don't know, maybe it's moved. Coffee cup, separation, ascending. Yeah, I do feel a little bit like, when he runs, you chase. And I feel like he doesn't want you to do this because, again, he feels a little bit like, and I just saw 111 on the clock, on the timer there. He feels a little bit like you use him as a distraction sometimes. And he doesn't want to be a distraction for you. He wants you to see him as a green pasture in the same way that he sees you. And I just saw 11-12 might be relevant. So he wants you to focus on yourself. He wants you to look after yourself. He's seeing that you are doing those things. And I feel as though this is creating this new phase for you both, because you're refusing to basically go down the same cycle, which is when he detached. I saw 1133 there. They told me to look at your master numbers. So go and have a little look at the master numbers of your life. I'll leave a comment or something on how to do that. I don't know what I was saying then now. They interrupted me. Yeah, the fact that you're not pouring into him in the same way as you have done in the past is actually kind of creating a situation where there will be a rekindling for this, and it's more likely to have a rekindling for this because you're not doing the same old stuff as you've done before. And that's the only way that you can really move on from these relationships and move into the next stage, which would be union, dissolution of the self. And I saw 12-12 on the clock when I said that, which is a very nice twin flame number there, which is 2 becoming 1. Okay, so lovely. I hope that helped. Pile number 1. If you would like a private reading for some more clarification, I've got some really special limited edition twin flame readings up on the channel at the moment. They're limited to 11 spaces only, so if you would like that, please make sure you go and book sooner rather than later, and all the links and everything is down below. I'll try and speak English in a minute. I love you very much. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Bye. Hello, pile number 2. Okay, so we've got an array of oracle cards for you. We have how he sees you, how he sees the relationship, how he feels, and what he would like to say. So this is your pile, so let's have a little look what we've got. Shall we leave them face down this time? They've told me to leave them face down so you have a little surprise. I don't know why. They didn't ask me to do that in the last one, but we're doing it for you, darling. So there you go. Perhaps you like surprises. Although we've turned the other one over. We've turned the first one over. So let's have a little look. Oh, okay. How he sees you. Okay, you ready to put your big girl panties on? Because don't shoot the messenger, okay? Unfortunately, your divine masculine at this point, pile number 2, sees you as the Queen of Wands in reverse, which isn't the best energy, unfortunately. The Queen of Wands in reverse is somebody that is unfortunately looked at as kind of a bit of a snob, okay? So a bit of a snob, a little bit obstinate. There is sometimes a feeling of deceit with the Queen of Wands. She's a bit of a bitch, I'm sorry. Tends to like things like money. So I'm getting the fears that possibly that he may feel that you are a gold digger. I don't know where that's coming from, but there is a feeling of that. I am seeing a heart tattoo there as well. So there's a feeling. Oh, and I just had OnlyFans as well. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what this is about, but I do feel there's some judgment from him to you in feeling like you are possibly not sitting in the divine feminine energy that he would like you to be sitting in, if that makes sense. Now, there's no judgment from me, but we sometimes, if you have a masculine who is sometimes sitting within the wounded masculine, which can put across facets of control towards the divine feminine, and also how he wants the divine feminine to be seen and perceived. So he cares about what she does and how she comes across. Okay, does that make sense? So I'm feeling, there's a feeling of you being so obstinate with this guy. Actually, sometimes he kind of wants to dominate you, and you do the exact opposite. So I'm sorry to say, but I'm feeling two unhealed energies with both of you here, because he is still sitting within his wounded masculine, with his wounded masculine. I'm afraid there's still a feeling of you sitting within your wounded feminine. So there's quite a lot of work to be done with this relationship, I feel, before it can come into divine union. I'm sorry to let you know, pile 2. They are asking me to pull another card for you. Can I get one more card? Thank you. Oh God, okay, 3 of Swords. He's really not feeling very good about you at the moment. I'm really sorry, pile 2. It's not great. It's not great. I did just hear Black Widow. So there is this feeling of this femme fatale character that possibly you've created as a created as a defense mechanism. Okay, I'm feeling a little bit as if you've gone into a bit of a femme fatale defense mechanism, maybe looking at dark feminine stuff and all this sort of stuff. And to be honest, the dark feminine, a lot of the stuff that is touted as being dark feminine is actually just narcissistic. It's wounded feminine. It isn't the divine feminine. Some of it's good, where they talk about being a high value woman and whatever. But actually that's moving towards the divine feminine aspects, and it's moving towards healing some of the wounding. When people are saying that they're a dark empath or a dark feminine or a dark something, I'm sorry to tell you, but that's just a level of ego and narcissism. That isn't it, okay? So if you're looking into dark feminine traits and all of these kind of things, actually what you're looking into is manipulation. And yes, manipulation for your empowerment. I saw 1717 on the clock there, so you may be seeing that. Dark feminine empowerment, yeah, brilliant, whatever. But can we just take a step back and recognize we're supposed to be moving towards the divine feminine traits, okay? Not dark empath, not dark, divine feminine or the dark feminine stuff, because actually a lot of it's based in narcissism, and a lot of it's been based in manipulation and abuse techniques, which is the exact opposite of what we should be doing, okay? And unfortunately, I do feel as though at points you may have or you may have not intentionally or unintentionally come across in a femme fatale, dark femme way towards your masculine, and actually he's got his fingers burnt and it's made him think differently of you. And unfortunately here with the Queen of Wands in reverse and the 3 of Swords in reverse, he sees you as being as a bit of a Black Widow character, a bit of a gold digger, which is something he's frightened of, and somebody that brings in heartbreak into his life. I'm sorry, pile number 2, it's not how he sees you at the moment isn't great, but that is just his energy of where he's at now. Something may have happened in between, between you guys. It could be that, you called him out on his bullshit and now he's projecting, whatever. Just let it resonate and let it fall where the cards fall, literally. Okay. So we're going to have a look. This black card here, this is the Island Time Wellness. This is how he sees the relationship. Okay. So we can see there, Ace of Spades. I just heard, Lemmy from Motorhead? Lemmy from Motorhead? I don't know, I can't think now. But you know what I'm talking about, Lemmy, the Ace of Spades. So, and I'm seeing motorcycles, I'm seeing that rebel without a cause. So I do feel like you're dealing with somebody who's a bit of a typical kind of masculine. So that makes sense for some of the kind of, some of the projections, some of the feelings there about you. A typical kind of like, gambling, motorbikes, leather jackets, kind of masculine. Do you know what I mean? That kind of very manly man kind of thing, kind of pays into that Roadhouse and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Now, how he sees the relationship at the moment is that it would be a chance, that it's a risk, okay? He's being strategic about this, but he's also keeping his options open. He's not showing his hand, and he may gamble on this one. Because he's got such a kind of testy opinion of you, pile number 2, he's seeing you as a quite a chancy person. I'm getting stuck in my throat there, so there's a feeling of fear and anxiety around you. I saw 2002 on the cards on the clock even. I mean, ultimately, there's an ace on this hand. So he does feel as if there's some value to you, but it does feel to him like this would be a massive risk if he were to move forward with you in any way, shape or form. And I think that is because he does see you literally as a wild card. Let's see what he feels. So that's very practical. It's very practical and logic. What does he feel in his heart? Okay. So my beloved, though we may be physically apart, spiritually, we are always united. For love transcends space and time. Nothing is missing. So despite all of this kind of like practical 3D fears and feelings about you, there is some feeling of love towards you. And obviously recognize that you can't be heartbroken by somebody if you don't give a shit about them. So there is a feeling here that you know that he is heartbroken sometimes by your actions, and that comes from the fact that he feels quite deeply for you. So although he's got kind of, not great thoughts about you at the moment, what he feels about you is quite nice. So I do feel like you guys feel each other in like the 5D, as it were. I feel like you're quite connected, like on a spiritual perspective. I also feel as though you guys kind of talk to each other through films as well. They said Roadhouse a minute to me, and then Rebel with a Cause. There's lots of films coming through. Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet. What else? Oh, I just saw that film. Is it with Cher? Mermaids? And I just heard, it's in his kiss, that's where it is, oh. Okay, that song, and I think that's from Mermaids, isn't it? So anyway, there's a romanticism here about you. I feel as though, like, he feels a bit like you're the Cher to his Sonny, is what I just heard. So... what he thinks about you, the way he views you, and the way he views a relationship kind of is, I feel like, coming from his head, whereas actually what he feels is quite different. The last card, what would he want to say to you? I want to feel that way again. Yeah, there's a feeling here that when he was with you, there were feelings that he hadn't had before, and that whole feeling of kind of like Sonny and Cher, or I know that relationship didn't end very well, but that kind of whole relationship where it's like, you just complement each other. I just heard it really hurt when you two broke up. So although he wants to feel that way again, it's almost like he's terrified that this situation is going to happen again, and he's going to get like the worst side of you again. I feel like there could be some volatility within this relationship, and I don't mean violence or aggression. If you've had a relationship where there's abuse in it, clear abuse, somebody domestic violence towards you or any like really severe kind of emotional abuse, none of these readings are for you. Okay, just throw that one out there right now. But I do feel like there has been some volatility within the relationship, just to kind of like harshly spoken words. I feel like neither of you are subtle. I feel like both of you can be quite sharp-tongued, is what I'm hearing. And unfortunately, he appears quite tough on the exterior, and so do you. I mean, look, both of you come across with quite a tough exterior. I'm hearing that both of you have had actually quite difficult childhoods, and so you've built up big walls around you. But the problem is that these big walls around you are also keeping each other out, and it causes some problems with triggers between the two of you when it comes down to communication, your relationship coming together, you two being together, because you two have got some of the similar wounds from your childhood. You actually kind of trigger each other off in the same way, unfortunately, and it causes quite a lot of problems. And because of that, you're both very fearful of being vulnerable, and that leads you to be quite spiky at points. And unfortunately, the spikiness from each of you triggers off those inner childhood wounds, where once again it creates a cycle that neither of you want to be vulnerable, and it's just this, it's a toxic cycle of kind of like bravado and pushing each other away because you're frightened of getting hurt and you're frightened of being vulnerable. So if you're the divine feminine, I'm afraid you need to work on that, because the vulnerability is only ever going to start with you, okay? And you'll notice that when you're vulnerable and you create a safe space when you're vulnerable, your divine masculine will come in with that happiness to be vulnerable back. And for Christ's sake, if he ever does it, please just allow him to be vulnerable without judgment or scrutiny or saying anything horrible towards him. Just listen, because actually for him to ever say anything to you is it's massive for him. And vulnerability feels incredibly uncomfortable for the divine masculine here. So you do the work and he'll do the work, basically. Okay? So that's everything for you, pile number 2. If you would like a private reading for more information about your situation, I've got some special limited edition twin flame readings up on the channel at the moment. They're limited to 11 spaces, and there's 10 left at this current moment in time. So if you want to get booked in for that, please do. And we can have a little look more about your specific relationship between you and your twin flame. Okay? Don't forget, like and subscribe. I love you very much. Thank you very much for being here, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Hey, pile number 3. Okay, what have we got here? We have a tarot card from the Incan Intuition about what he sees you, how he sees you. We have one card for the relationship, how he views the relationship, and that is with my Island Time Wellness Love Oracle card. We've got one of these love oracles. This is how he feels about you. And then the last one is the Healing Oracle, which is what he wants to say to you. So let's get started. Can you see all those? Pretty much. I'll hold them up for you anyway, so don't worry. Okay, so first things first. This is how he sees you. What a card. Look at that. Okay, so this is Temperance. This is Sagittarius energy, but remember that it doesn't have to be. This is just nods towards feelings, towards astrology signs. Sorry, I don't know why I said feelings there. So how he sees you as somebody who is quite balanced, very ethereal. You can see here that this is a beautiful female angel on this card. On the traditional deck, they're angels, so they don't have any sex or gender because they're angels. But they just have masculine and feminine traits. It's here with fiery red hair. I'm hearing the word fiery, which doesn't normally come out. I'm getting a little bit of anxiety from the masculine about how he sees you, because I do feel a little bit like he sees you quite angelic, almost like a creature from outside of this world. A divine creature is what I just heard. Now, Temperance talks about self-control, moderation. It talks about harmony, talks about patience, friendship, success, alchemy. It talks about recuperation, healing. He sees you in pretty high order, pile number 3. There's a real feeling here of kind of you being, pretty divine. Being somebody who, I just heard, fell from heaven, an earth angel. Somebody here that heals and brings balance and brings love to, brings love into his life. We've also got the number here 14, which may be relevant, and the number 5 as well. So I do feel as though you have instigated a lot of change in your masculine's life. And there's kind of like a feeling of appreciation here for that. So I do feel that he sees you, like he does put you on a pedestal, and you may not feel that because sometimes he probably doesn't treat you like that. But we'll see how as we move through the other cards. But I do feel as though he's put you on a bit of a pedestal. He sees you as being somebody quite angelic, which is fucking high. That's a bloody high pedestal to put somebody on. But he does see you as being somebody who is quite ethereal, quite a magical creature. And he does see you as somebody who just seems to be able to kind of like, I just heard turning water into wine. So he sees you as being somebody who's able to alchemize even sometimes the like muggiest of situations and turn them into something positive. And I just saw 2912 on clock there, so there could be some relevance there with the birthday. 29th of December, that would be. Or a relevant day for when you met or something along those lines. Something happened on the 29th of December. So yeah, it holds you in pretty high regard. Pretty high regard. There's a feeling here of love, of a feeling that you are like a divine creature. Very balanced. I'm seeing here the colours of Christmas as well. So Christmas again could be relevant, and obviously 29th of December is very much around Christmas. So you guys could have had communication in Christmas. I'm seeing the American flag in the feathers there. So I just saw like that American eagle. So there could be something here to do with that. Okay, so yes, it certainly sees you as somebody who's quite strong, free, independent is what I just heard, which was the relation there to the like the bald eagle and the American flag. Anything else, Spirit? Seeing a birthmark as well. Birthmark on the left cheek. And somebody who's very in connect with their root chakra, so he sees you as being quite an passionate individual, quite sexual as well. I just heard that the sex was from heaven. Okay. Okay, so that's quite a lot there. Let's have a little look at how he views the relationship. Better be bloody good after all of that. Oh, okay. Oh, so we have the snake here. Competition, enemy, clever, malicious, look over your shoulder, the other woman. That's a weird, interesting card. When I picked it up, my immediate response was that he felt like there's people that are interested in you, okay? And he can feel the competition of other suitors around you, and he doesn't like it, okay? He is frightened of losing you because... Not necessarily because there are suitors around you or that you're interested in them. I saw 31 o'clock when I said that. Not so much that, but just more so the fact that he sees you so bloody wonderfully. He's like, of course she's going to get snapped up soon. Like, what? There's a feeling of kind of like fear with this. So he's recognizing there's competition. Feels like there are kind of like enemies coming into the camp is what I just heard, which is terrible because I hope he doesn't see you as like his territory or his camp, but you may find that he is somebody that's quite territorial with this. Look over your shoulder, the other woman. I do feel like there's a third party in here with this as well, but for the ones that have got a third party, he actually doesn't like her. He doesn't feel like she's competition to you. He feels like she's malicious, and I'm just hearing she's a snake. She's a snake. So, and I love snakes. I love snakes. I think they're wonderful. But he's saying she's a snake, she's a snake. So if you have got a divine masculine who's got a third party, I'm not getting the vibe that he really likes her and he cares about her or anything. I feel as though he sees her as a malicious snake, basically. But he is very frightened about other competition coming in for him, for you, against him. Suitors competing for you because he thinks you're wonderful, and he doesn't want to lose you. Now look at this. We have you all wrapped up in your little angel wings again. Really does see you as an angel. Okay. Now this card here talks about how he feels about you in the relationship. So I know not you and the relationship, just how he feels. Okay. I don't know why that was important. It is important to take a step back and to spend some time alone instead of placing your focus on another. Now is the time to give to yourself. So I feel like this is both of you at the moment, and I feel like there is a recognition between the two of you that actually both of you just need to take some time apart and do some healing. And I do feel like you guys have been in separation for a while, definitely for a while. I just heard 2 years. Could be 2 months, but 2 years I heard. So you've definitely been in separation for a while, if not longer than that, actually, because there is a feeling of this, this relationship with this third party, if there is one. It's gotten to the point where the joy has kind of been sucked out of it now. So that's definitely much further along than the honeymoon period for every relationship. So, but I do feel like both of you are taking a bit of a step back now, working on some of this self-healing and working on kind of like your heart chakra is what I'm seeing here. Working on your heart chakra to be able to open up, to be vulnerable, to say what you feel, to be who you are, to speak, to be vulnerable with each other, and also working on that blue chakra there with that communication, trying to work on your communication together and separately. Okay, so then you just so you can give to yourself first to come back and give to each other. Okay. So what does he want to say? Oh, I know I messed everything up. Yeah. Again, it's difficult because he sees you as being so wonderful. This feeling of you two not being together actually weighs really heavily on his heart. And I feel he feels very much like it's him. It was his fault. He made a mistake. He messed it all up, and he's ruined it, and he's very upset. Telling me to get another card. Yeah, there's a lot of remorse here with this one, with our Divine Masculine for the third pile. What else is this masculine want to say, feel? What are his thoughts? Thank you. Oh, look. Ascending. And the balloons may be relevant there. He may have bought you some balloons, or I'm seeing that film Up as well. Oh, and heartbroken on the bottom of the pack. Deeply hurt, sad, separation, breakup, feeling lost, grief and mourning. I do feel as if this time apart from each other is going to allow him to do some of this healing, and this time apart is really, really required for him to be able to do that healing, because he sees you as so wonderful. And actually there's a beauty with that. Because he sees you as so wonderful, it is giving him a kick up the arse to become the best person that he can be, because he knows he fucked it, basically, is what I just heard. I fucked it royally. That's what I just heard. Whether you got whatever accent that was, Yorkshire, I don't know. Up north. I know I messed everything up. Yeah, he's heartbroken. And you know he broke your heart. He knows he's deeply hurt you. He knows that he's caused this separation. He feels completely lost without you. He's grieving it. He's mourning it. He knows he's fucked it. He's trying to heal. He doesn't like the third party that he's with at the moment. He is going through a process at the moment of ascension. Recognize that separation is required in all twin flames for either party to go through ascension. So please don't keep bugging him or over messaging or anything. Just wait for him to come to you. Reply if he replies, but keep it light until it goes heavy, if that makes sense. But really you don't want it. This is another thing. It's like, we don't want it going heavy. We want it just keep going up. Ascending. Yeah, be the balloon to his weighted heart. So ascending, so transcending obstacles, learning, expansion, new phase, and preparing for union. So I do feel as though this separation has been a long one. Did I say 2 years? That was you, wasn't it, guys? I feel. I've just done 3 piles. So I do feel this is you. I feel you guys have been through a long step. Yeah, it is you. Why did I have a feeling then that wasn't you? That was weird. It's almost like I feel like you guys can't believe that you've been apart for such a long time. Because when you do talk, it just feels as if it was yesterday that you were in a relationship together. I do feel like both of you are doing the work at this current moment in time. There is healing happening here. There is. I mean, temperance overall is all healing and transmutation of things. There is healing happening. There is communication, heart chakras and communication becoming open, so you guys can talk a little bit more openly. He feels like shit because he recognizes that probably all of it was his fault and he really messed it up and it was his fault. Which isn't true, obviously, because it takes 2 to tango, but that's how he feels. The fact that he sees you as such an angel and such a wonderful creature actually is putting a rocket up his arse to get him. Yeah, literally a rocket up his arse to get him to send. He is working through his issues at the moment. He is learning. He is expanding. He is preparing for union with you, and he's hoping for a new phase. I want to do one of these. Spirit. They just asked me to split this. Okay. Spirit, what is the outcome for this relationship? These cards are really big. I don't know why. Spirit, what is the outcome for this relationship, please? What is the outcome for this relationship, please? I get 1 card. What is the outcome for this relationship? No. What is the outcome, please, Spirit, for this relationship? What is the outcome, please, Spirit, for this? Oh, well, that's weird. Okay, heartache. Can we get one more, please, Spirit? What is the outcome for this? What is the outcome for this relationship, please, Spirit? What is the outcome for this relationship? It's a weird one with the Three of Swords. What is the outcome for this relationship, please, Spirit? Heartache. I mean, Three of Swords isn't a very good energy, to be honest. It's weird. It's in fact a little bit more hopeful than that. Three of Swords talks about incompatibility, heartbreak, distance, absence, alienation, unrest, confusion, delay, loss of bearings, disruptive forces. Let's try Spirit, can you clarify this Three of Swords to me? Can you clarify Three of Swords to me? Well, that's a lot of cards. I'm not doing a whole bloody reading. Okay. Okay, so Six of Coins. This talks about bringing balance back in. The Hermit talks about healing. Nine of Swords in reverse. The King of Cups. The Queen of Coins. And the Knight of Coins in reverse. Right. So to clarify this heartbreak, it's about bringing things into balance, healing what needs to be healed, okay, creating a space for like meditation, ritual, finding sanctuary. The King of Cups talks about sitting in your emotions and being like a strong, competent, responsible, honest man. Now that came out before these two came out. So I do feel as if this is him in this third party relationship. So in the third party relationship, he could be with an earth sign, but he sees. It's interesting because upside down, these aren't very nice cards together, okay? But I do feel like this isn't necessarily more talking about these two feelings. I feel like this is that this relationship needs to end. And that is like this heartache. And I feel like that's the third party relationship. But with the ending of the relationship, what it's going to do is bring the energies into balance. It will create healing, bring in honesty into it, and then allow him to come forward and offer his cup of love towards you. Is one way to read it. And that's how I feel what it is. It's him kind of taking responsibility for the situation that he's, again, created, because we have this third party situation. I'm just going to... let's use these a minute. What is the outcome for this relationship, please, Spirit? Thank you. Just get a bit more clarification. Palm tree and boat. Okay, so stability, security, permanence, growth, endurance, and flexibility. And receiving what you need, progression, arriving, moving on, and closure issues. So I do feel as though there's going to be movement in this. Bottom of the pack as well is passion. I just picked up cassette. Insane chemistry, like each other equally, having fun. So that's that balance that was being restored there with the Six of Coins. The cassettes, outdated thinking, conditioning, replaying events over and over in your head, which is some of that healing. And I don't know if you can see that. Let me just... can you see that? She says. Can you see that there? What can you see? I've got separation in reverse. And look, there's twin flames just popping out. Separation in reverse, which means that it's time to end this separation. Sadness, missing you, thinking about you, yearning, unsure about the future. So I feel as though with this ascension, there's going to be a third-party relationship that ends. There's going to be a lot of healing and a lot of restoring balance with this relationship. A lot of ascension. He's going to come in to offer you something new because you guys are twin flames. It's twin flames, and there was the end of the separation. Underneath that was the karmic relationship, followed by the coffin. Look at that. That karmic followed by the coffin, and it was 44 on the clock when I said that. Pile number 3, it seems very hopeful, to be honest. So, if you're not sure how the hell to speed up this union with your twin flame a little bit faster, and you don't really know what the heck you're supposed to be doing on this time, whilst he's putting him stuff together, you probably will really love my new course that I've created, which is all about helping twin flames to move forward into into union as fast as divine timing will allow. And the beauty of it is whilst it's happening, it creates a lot of confidence, healing, and happiness in your life. So if you're interested in that, I'll leave some details below, and I hope to see you soon. And book a private reading with me, guys. I've got a limited edition twin flame reading at the moment. It's an hour for £66. It talks all about your divine masculine, divine feminine. It talks about what needs to happen in the relationship, what he's feeling, so on and so forth. It's limited edition. There are 11 spaces and there are only 10 of those left. So if you would like to book that in, I would recommend you do it sooner rather than later. If you haven't done already, guys, please like, share and subscribe. I love you very much, and I'll see you all soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye.